3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, days, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. I'm going to get this over with because I don't have a whole lot to say about this. I watched the remake of White Man Can't Jump, which is directed by Cal Maddock, who also directed the latest House Party remake, which I was not a fan of. Might end up on my worst of when it's all said and done. This isn't good. Let's just get out of the way. This is not good. This stars Sinqua Walls, who plays Kamal. You probably know him from Shark Night, the 2011 version. He was also Vernon Boyd on Teen Wolf. He was actually pretty good on there. What else would you know him from? Probably those things. Oh yeah, and he was Sir Lancelot on Once Upon a Time. I actually forgot about that. That was a pretty decent show for a couple seasons. And then, of course, the guy who plays Jeremy is Jack Harlow. And let me just kind of jump in with Jack Harlow. Jack Harlow was one of those names that people would bring up, and I'd go, who the fuck is Jack Harlow? And I went through and I listened to a couple of his songs. I don't get it. I honestly don't understand why he's a big thing in music. And I looked. Apparently he is a big thing in music. Yep, don't get why. But yeah, he plays Jeremy. And it's the same thing as the 91 version of White Man Can't Jump. Two guys hustling, trying to go ahead and win this, to get money to go ahead and win this big basketball tournament. And this just falls into that same realm of lazy ass remakes that don't need to exist. This just felt like a waste of my fucking time the whole time I was watching it. And look, I don't have some crazy memories of the original or like nostalgia to the original. I can probably say I've seen the original White Man Can't Jump twice maybe, and I haven't watched it since I was 18. I intentionally didn't rewatch it going into this because I wanted to be fair to the movie and not have the nostalgia goggles on in case I like the 91 version more than I even remember on a rewatch. So I'll probably rewatch it now, but this is just one of those cases. I felt like I was watching Dumbo the whole time, where I was just sitting there going, there's no reason for this to exist. This isn't adding anything to the original canon or even like improving on the original. And this is just, as we're in the middle of the writer's strike, which just started, this is why Hollywood needs to burn a little bit, because Hollywood has gotten so lazy in terms of the things that they put out. We're not even putting out the amount of original stuff as far as, original scripts. Hollywood has gotten lazy in the fact of, let's just remake shit. And if you're going to remake stuff, remake something like, pull a Dredd. Because, the first Judge Dredd's not a great movie. I'd even say it's pretty bad, actually. But, studios went, you know what, fuck it. Let's go ahead and remake this. Throw Carl Urban the fucking helmet, because it's something that could have been improved on. And go figure, the latest version of Dredd is way better than the original. Hopefully we get a show or another fucking movie. But there's just no reason for this to exist. The chemistry between Walls and Harlow, it's there in like a couple scenes, but for the most part, it's non-existent. That is one thing I definitely remember about the original, is the chemistry between Harrelson and Snipes is there the whole time, even when they're fighting, even when they're just starting to get to know each other. This movie is trying to be clever for the sake of being clever. There are multiple white people jokes, which, look, I'm a sucker for an easy white person joke, and even I was just sitting here going, man, these are stupid. One character in this movie, in terms of dating white women, goes, oh, that's right, don't do it. You don't play in the snow. And I just went, oh my fucking God, really? This is a level of script writing? And then I found out who wrote the script. It's actually written by a couple people, Doug Hall, who you probably know from writing, he was in You People. Oh God, that makes sense. And he was, he also worked on Grownish and worked on Blackish. And the other person who wrote this movie, Kenya Barris, who of course you know from writing Black AF, one of my least favorite shows in the last decade, and writing You People. Why is Kenya, just stop writing bad scripts, goddamn it. I don't know why. I don't know why this movie got made. And okay, so I'm going to go through a couple other things here real quick, because I'm going to keep this review short. I really don't have a ton to say about this, except it wasn't funny. There is one scene with Benji, who is Kamal's dad. Benji is played by the great late Lance Reddick. He's the one person in this goddamn movie who's actually good. And he's good in every scene he's in. There's a scene where you find out more about Kamal's past, and Benji's having this conversation with him. You know, just tells him how he needs to stop being so bitter and learn to forgive himself. And it's one of those scenes where I went, it's similar to the scene that John Lithgow has in Daddy's Home 2, where that improv scene where he breaks down about his wife, and you go, wow, that is an amazing scene in a very terrible movie. That's how I felt anytime Lance Reddick was on screen. I was like, wow, you are way too good for this, and you're the only person who truly understood the assignment and actually fucking tried. And Lance Reddick was always a fucking pro, so it's no surprise that he's the best thing in this movie. One thing that actually made me laugh, and it's nothing involving the writing of the film. The first time you see Jack Harlow's character, Jeremy, if you have the subtitles on, it refers to him as an influencer, and and just seeing that, I went, yeah, that's pretty much how I think of Jack Harlow. I don't think of him as a musician. I think of him as an influencer. So clearly the subtitles even knew that. But let me think. Is there anything else? So, okay, there is one scene in here with I think it's Kamal's boss, where his boss is talking about this failed business he had, which was called Cake and Bake. And it was a combination weed shop / cupcake store. And I was like, that's a fucking brilliant idea. I would love to have a cupcake with weed in it. That would be amazing. And he's talking about how that business failed. And I'll be real, I was sitting there going, in LA, there's no way a business like that would fail. So that would be such a thing. People would be on TikTok talking about that shit. There's no fucking way. Unless he just, maybe he's just bad business. But as far as the concept, oh yeah, there's no fucking way that would fail. So that was already something I went, give me a fucking break. As far as the love interest in this, Kamal is dating Tiana Taylor, who plays Amani, and then Jeremy is dating Laura Harrier, who plays Tatiana. I believe those are the love interests. I hope I'm not mixing it up, but again, doesn't really matter. They don't really get a ton of character development. There's a fight between Jeremy and his partner about his partner going on tour at a point. And that the way he reacts to that, and the way she just, of course, forgives him, I went, give me a fucking break. And Kamal, he raises his voice to his partner a few times, where I just went, man, that's going pretty unchecked. All right, cool. Look, at the end of the day, this felt like a waste of my time. That's all I kept thinking as I was sitting here going, man, I just don't feel like anyone gives a shit about this movie in this movie outside of Lance Reddick. You're supposed to be cheering Kamal and Jeremy on, and there was no point I was doing that. When you find out about Kamal's fall from grace, I went, dude, this is a dumb fucking thing that you did. And yeah, I know you can't forgive yourself for it or get over it, but you shouldn't have done it in the first place. And how you see how he keeps repeating these mistakes, I went, dude, you gotta get your shit together, man. You got a kid too. It's like, you need to Yeah, I didn't care. At the end of the day, I just didn't care, and that's like the worst thing I could possibly say. While again, I didn't like House Party. The stuff with LeBron's hologram is actually laugh out loud funny. Like I actually got hard, genuine laughs out of that. I can't think of one thing in this that actually made me laugh hearty. I chuckled maybe 2 or 3 times, but overall, I was just bored. So as far as a grade, um, this might end up in my worst of. Like I'm gonna give it an F. Because there's no point to this. Like if someone were to ask me, Hunter, should I watch this over the 91 version? I'd go, no. Just off the chemistry alone, the 91 version's better. But yeah, there's just no reason for this at all. It's just, it's dumb. To quote the critic, it stinks. Yeah, there's no reason to watch this. Watch The Princess. That's on Hulu. That's a great fucking movie. Watch that shit. There's way better original stuff on Hulu than fucking White Man Can't Jump remake. The 91 version's on Hulu. Watch that shit. Don't watch this. There's no reason. Dumb. Okay, actually, one other thing I will say as a compliment, I still stand by my F. The actual tournament stuff is as far as how it's shot. I think the direction on that is good. I do think that as the film goes on, the director kind of finds his footing on how to shoot the basketball stuff. So I will give them that. But yeah, outside of that, yeah, F. It's dumb. Yeah, White Man Can't Jump. Have y'all seen it? What'd you think of it? Do you like this more than the original? You better fucking not. But let us know in the comments. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. Don't forget to follow us pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can find us on SoundCloud, Apple, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneUp, and Samsung Podcasts, to name a few, at The Real Pineapple. As I mentioned, you can follow me on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. That's REEL Pineapple. You can also follow me on Instagram at the same handle. You can follow me on Letterboxd at Black Shazam. You can follow me on TikTok at Black Shazam 775. Oh gosh, where else? You can find us now on YouTube. I'm starting to upload our older reviews on there, so getting caught up on that. But I'm really excited to be getting on YouTube. But you can follow us there at just type in The Real Pineapple. You'll go ahead and find us, and you can find all the other places you can follow us, including all the ones I just mentioned, at linktr.ee/JHunterRealPineapple. It's got everywhere you can follow us, including our Facebook pages, like those at The Real Pineapple and Real Pineapple Games. And you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/JHunterRealPineapple. I'm going to be hopping on Twitch here probably in the next month, since next month is my birth month. Whoop, whoop. So I'll be hopping on there, starting to slowly test things out as I get the home studio finalized. Still got a couple things I need to get, but we're getting there. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. We're going to have reviews coming up I'm going to start reviewing the Indiana Jones series first week of June. So keep your eyes out on that. And then I'm also going to have a re-review of Into the Spider-Verse, which I'm so excited to go back and revisit that. And what else? Yeah, I've got other reviews coming down the pipeline, so just keep your eyes and ears open for that. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Stay safe out there. Take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon.